gave an update on the cul-de-sac. One tree needs to be removed yet, and leveling of the ground can be done. Discussion continued with the pros and cons of widening Notch Road. Zoning officer, 3 permits were issued. Mr. Hart was instructed to mail the permits to residents and not to hand deliver them to mailboxes. Fire company, a report and financials were submitted. The creek next to the firehouse is washing out a PPL pole and eroding the bank. Chairman Rudinsky will have the engineer look at. Supervisor Powell suggested submitting financial reports quarterly. Joe Baker stated they are printed for the fire company's meeting, so it's not a problem. Old business, 2013 audit. Secretary Conjoli stated she had to build the financial books for the first 4 months. However, it is ready for the auditors and is trying to schedule a time with them as Mr. Rainier travels a great deal. A motion was made to advertise the 2012 budget audit report. Gutal Rudinsky. Motion carried unanimously. Computer security costs. Supervisor Gutal is attempting to schedule a meeting. Status of Saldo, engineer Jerry Spees will be contacted when he returns from vacation. A motion was made to bill New Buffalo Borough for the previous 3 years of workman's comp costs at the appropriate population rate. Paust, Gutal, motion carried unanimously. Credit card, Secretary Conjoli will get more information on a debit card from First National Bank in Mifflintown. It would be issued to the township and work like a Visa. Rising Sun, engineer Spees will look into. New business, Secretary Conjoli asked the residents to schedule an appointment a week in advance to come into the office to fulfill right to know request. Copies are 25 cents. For entry of legal complaints alleging that Supervisor Gutal violated the Sunshine Law by changing the date of the spring cleanup from May 24th to June 7th, charging a fee of $10 for each electronic, and advertising the event outside of a public meeting. Supervisor House entered 4 additional complaints he had received. Linda Heffenfinger stated the date was changed due to the kitchen being closed at the community center. Supervisor Gutal stated no, that was not the reason. Secretary Conjoli conferred with Solicitor Fenical and read his legal opinion, which stated it was not a violation. Donna Ellenberger asked if there were repercussions to residents who filed complaints. Chairman Rudinsky responded no. Ambrose Quigley stated his displeasure as a taxpayer that township money is being wasted on an attorney to defend the changing of the date. The township is holding the cleanup as a courtesy to the township residents, and there are bigger problems to deal with. Roadmaster, Chairman Rudinsky continues to look for a bucket for the backhoe. Planning Commission report, Secretary Conjoli reported all the conditions have been met for the Truck Stop 39 Incorporated plan. Secretary Conjoli and Chairman Rudinsky signed the plans. The Planning Commission Chair needs to sign also. Supervisor Powell pointed out that Bob Hart's mileage should be 50 cents per mile, not 56 cents. His next invoice will be adjusted to reflect the overpayment since January. A motion was made to approve the bills to be paid and any bills that come due before the next meeting. Rudinsky, Gutal, motion carried unanimously. Supervisor Paust clarified that all 3 supervisors and the engineer will look at Notch Road. Supervisor Powell stated he will call for the removal by vote of Supervisor Gutal from the Planning Commission at the next meeting. A motion was made to adjourn the meeting. Rudinsky, Gutal, motion carried unanimously.
I have a couple
I do
questions.
too.
We made a motion last month to change or make amendments to the previous month's minutes, and number 2 was entered in here as upon advice of Solicitor Fenical. A motion was made to rescind the motion that was made to deny the Bluestone plan. I think what we talked about was just prefacing all that with a motion upon the advice of Solicitor Fenical, the following actions were taken on the Bluestone plan. And then on down, I think it's under old business, my second page under Rising Sun, it just says engineer Spees will look into.
Yes.
Is that what we talked about, Reichert's complaint for that drainage?
I don't.
Yeah, I look at that.
So we should add engineer Spees will look into Reichert's complaint about shoulder water.
I already looked at that, have it marked over ready to do.
Just for the minutes is all.
We have to get that in the minutes.
Under new business, it says, ask the residents to schedule an appointment a week in advance to come in to the office to fulfill right to know requests. I think upon further discussion, we have decided that it would be requests for copies, or if they have a long list of right to know requests. We had talked like they could, I'll give these to you, Nancy.
Okay. It's kind of hard to hear when people don't speak up. I'm recording the meeting, and when people don't speak up, it's hard for me, and people speaking at one time, everybody, it's hard for me to hear. So I do apologize, but yes, I'd appreciate that, Frank.
Further down under, well, I think it's the next paragraph, if you want to call it that, we were talking about the move from May 24th to June 7th, and the board stated that next year cleanup will be moved back to May.
That I do not recall.
And we stated, I just listened to it, and we stated several times that
Yeah, we did say that.
we're going to move it back to May next year. And then under Ambrose's comments, at the end of that, I'd like to add Supervisor House clarified that this complaint is deeper than just the date change. It is about the way our government works. And I think those were my exact words from the reporting. And that's all I
Everybody
have.
was talking.
Okay.
All right, I
Okay.
have number 3 on the first page. You want to read?
Old business. Supervisor Gutau announced she decided electronics and appliances will be accepted for $10.
Okay, I'm gonna table that, just that part of it, because I want to review that. I mean, innocent report.
Okay. You got that, Nancy?
And then, was there
So
something?
do you want to table?
Yeah, table that part of it,
Paragraph, right?
that paragraph.
Okay.
That paragraph or that item, number 3.
Item
That
3.
Item number 3.
I also have some comments too.
You get what?
Okay, I didn't know Frank was finished.
I'm done.
He's done.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The stop sign at the end of Notch Road was moved back so that it was easier for people to pass because of the way that road dips and goes around. The other side of the road was the one that we have the sight vision problem with.
I'm working on that.
Thank you, thank you. Another thing is the ordinance about the loud noise. We were told up in New Bloomfield that our township adopts their own laws, rules, guidance, whatever. And our ordinance book does have a ordinance in there that says about excessive noise, annoyance, and things like that. It says nothing about a meter to check anything.
Right.
So,
Wait.
okay,
I don't mean to be rude.
Okay.
Right now, we're on minutes. I guess everybody needs this clarified. When we read the minutes, we have to adopt the minutes from last month. If you have a comment on what was read in the minutes,
You come under next good
then it would,
Okay.
right, then it would come now.
That's all.
Any other issues you have would come
Later.
after we adopt the minutes. And
Okay.
that's what we're on right now, just
Right.
adopting what you heard read. So if you have a problem with something
Okay.
that was read, now's the time to speak.
Okay,
Other
can I get a
issues will come
motion,
later.
accept the minutes as read?
Tabling item number 3.
Right,
I just want to see one.
And my additions,
yes.
I'll make the motion.
You gotta get rid of that.
Table item 3 and make the amendments as stated. And I will give you copies and write out those amendments.
I'll second it, all in favor,
Aye.
aye. Okay, now we'll go into the good and welfare, and you will have 2 minutes to do your talking tonight in good and
Do
welfare.
you want to do the good and welfare with, do you want to do this first?
Liver Petroleum,
Yeah.
we can,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you want to do
Okay,
your,
we'll go that route. Yeah, you want
That way
to
you
do
can-
that before he goes.
don't just sit through it.
Thank you. Did you see how many extra seats I have?
Bruce Kirkpatrick, the Mulbaker Engineering here.
Talk loud, Bruce.
Representing Liberty Petroleum and the Liberty Travel Plaza. Basically here tonight, just to give you an update on where we stand with the conditional approvals, or the conditions of the approval, I should say. And I'll run down through them briefly. Number 1 was the date of waiver approval must be added to the plan. Said waivers are, list them out. We've listed those dates on that, or the dates of those waivers and what the waivers were for on the cover sheet of the plan set. Perry County Conservation District approval is required for erosion and sedimentation plan. That plan has been submitted to Perry County Conservation District and is currently under review. We received the initial administrative review and responded to comments on that. That's been resubmitted and is currently under review for the technical part of it. Surveyor must sign and seal the plans. I have 5 copies in the back that I've signed and sealed, however, the owner has not signed them. So unless the township wants them submitted, I'll just keep them, get Sonny to sign off on and the other property owners. And that way we won't waste a bunch of paper. That's item number 4, is the plan must be signed and notarized. And, we need to do that. Number 5, E&S matting must be shown on the slopes around the retention pond area. That E&S matting has been added to the, not only to the land development plans, it's also shown on the E&S plans. DEP sewage facility module. We contacted Harrisburg's office for DEP via email, which I've given a copy to the township, and basically because we are no longer proposing to connect the house, no additional sewage facilities planning is required.
You say, if I can interrupt, you say
Sure.
that's per attached email? It's not
Yeah,
attached
there's
to
an
this.
email, that very last page, I believe.
No, it's the
If
same.
you don't have
Right,
it,
last page is the same
I
as
have
the first
additional
page.
copies. Great.
It's this email right there. The very last page of that. It's an email.
My last page is the same as my first page. I may be the only one who doesn't have it. So.
Yeah, I can.
Anybody else have it? All right. Perpetual easement was reviewed by a solicitor and approved. I don't know that that's been executed yet, but it will be and duly recorded when the plans are recorded. Trash receptacle and concrete pad has been shown and labeled on the plan. Pedestrian access to the parking lot has been shown and labeled on the plan. Label of the existing structures to be demolished on Lot 3R has been added to the plan. The existing depressed curb at the exit of Lot 3R should be replaced with a vertical curb for vehicular safety. That note has been added to the plan. Pavement markings from Old Trail Road to the restaurant shall be shown to controlled vehicles. We've actually relocated the driveway. The existing driveway is right here. We've shifted it down towards the, I call it the moccasin shop, the trading post.
Down to their edge.
Right, down to that edge, which provides better flow through. It's not putting people right through the middle where the trucks
Right.
are going to be parking. So basically provides flow down through. And I talked to the township engineer right before the meeting. We are going to make one minor revision to the plan as it's currently shown. Currently, we just have one-way arrows here. We're going to put two-way, so the vehicular car traffic can go 2 ways here to get in and out of the facility. Exit to 11 and 15 for Lot 1R shall be shown as one-way and signage added. We've done that. We can put arrows there and put an exit-only sign and then no entrance sign coming from 11 and 15. For traffic flow, the driveway between the parking lot and 11 and 15 side shall be 24 feet wide and 2-way. I think that was this piece right here. We currently, or previously had it narrower, and the engineer requested that we make that 24 feet, which we did. Deed of consolidation for Lot 3R must be recorded. We know that, and we will do that once the plans have been recorded. We can't record that deed until that occurs.
Is there a note on there that states that somewhere?
I'll have to check let me check my plan here.
doing that, did you get a copy of the revised plan, Nancy?
I came in while I was on vacation, so yeah, there's a copy for each of you to look at and compare to your,
That's the one that shows the driveway moves?
it should, yeah, this is the last one I got.
We have a note on the plan that says that the lots will be consolidated. It does not specifically say that the deed will be recorded. We can amend that note to include that.
Is that driveway noted on these last set of plans that you submitted in May?
The moved driveway.
The moved driveway?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, yes.
I believe I missed one. I missed number 14. Sign for handicap parking spaces has been shown and added to the plan. And then I covered 15. The deed consolidation of 16, we talked about that. The sewer line, as you recall, the previous set of plans that we submitted, we inadvertently turned that layer off when we plotted the plans. We've corrected that. A letter of notification to PP&L was sent.
have
We
it.
copied the township on that. We have not received any correspondence back from them, and be unlikely that we
It
probably
won't
will.
because I had one. You just send them, they
Right.
don't send nothing back.
Yep.
The township does have a copy of that, though?
Yes, we do.
I was copying.
Label utility poles to be removed in the truck lane. We've done that. We've placed that label on the plan. Truck parking spaces shall be shown on lot 1R. We've done that. As I said, with the revision of the driveway, it's greatly improved that access. Posting of security improvements is approved by the township engineer. We are aware that we need to do that. I actually have the estimate up to our estimating department right now, which are very busy with PennDOT bids. And I meant to bring that down with me today, and I didn't have it completed. So I'll get that to the engineer as quickly as possible.
We get that to our engineer?
Yes. Yeah. And note to be added to the plan that the existing house and surrounding area of Lot 3R will not be disturbed until vacated. That note has been placed on the plan, as has the note that the house and garage will be removed when the current occupant has vacated the home. All conditions of approval are to be satisfied within 90 days of the conditional approval by the Board of Supervisors on April 2nd, 2014. That brings me to our request for a time extension for that. 90 days from April 2nd is July 1st. The next Board of Supervisors meeting is July 2nd, so we would be over that by 1 day. Our request is that the time to satisfy those be extended to the next, if I could suggest, to the next board meeting, whether that's held. My concern is if for some reason you wouldn't have the July 2nd meeting, or if it would be postponed, we would miss it. So I don't know if we want to just extend it to the August meeting,
It'll be August,
how you want
August
how you
6th
want to
then.
have that.
It'll be August 6th if you want to
Okay.
just put that on there.
And basically, it's however you decide to word the motion.
Well, we need it in your letter.
Yeah.
Well, I've said, in the letter, I basically said, because of the 90-day time extension will expire prior to the next board meeting, we're requesting the time extension until the next regularly held Board of Supervisors meeting. Next meeting scheduled for July 2nd. In the event that July 2nd Supervisors meeting would be canceled or postponed, we request that the time frame be extended until the August meeting.
I'm not reading all that in this letter.
Right here, right here.
it says in the event, it says the next board meeting is July 2nd, but you read a whole lot more than I did.
Right, and then in the event that the July 2nd meeting would be canceled or postponed, we request that the time frame be extended until the August meeting.
The August Supervisors meeting. And we should try to stick a date in there.
The 6th is,
Yeah.
Is it August 6th?
Sixth, uh-huh.
August 6th Supervisors meeting.
My hope is that we have that
I
done
make-
before.
I make a motion that we accept the,
Excuse me, can we get public comment on this, or that's not ever?
No, that's all been through.
it's already been passed.
That's a shame. My concern is those trucks sitting there, and I can see people zapping from the back road to the 15 cutting across there. And then you got trucks pulling out slowly, and I don't know the solution, but I can see the cars cutting across there to 15. You can see that.
I don't disagree, and it's been my argument from day one to not have that driveway.
Absolutely.
But if they requested a township, we
Yeah,
we
I
would
can
get there,
see
so.
the trucks pulling slowly, and they're very creative, and the cars zapping to get to work. And that's a straight across there cut,
oh,
with the trucks looking at you.
okay. I'm a little confused by your two's position that there is no public comment at this period on this plan, because that's what this meeting's for. We're presenting potential approval of this plan, therefore,
And here,
everyone here has a
It's not
right
a
to
good-
comment.
it's not a good scenario.
It's been
No, but
conditionally
it's been
approved.
changed. It's been
Yeah,
changed.
okay, speak, what you want to speak.
Well, no,
Wait, no, we're going
she
to-
did speak, that's
Yeah.
fine, but the board, we shouldn't.
We should. That's all right.
Well, no, we shouldn't be stopping them from speaking. I want everybody to feel free to comment on this plan. That's what
It could be a disaster,
Many times.
that straight cut.
What's that?
That could be a disaster in the future, because the more people that moves in, the more cutting through there. But if you're gonna move the house eventually, right? I would prefer to keep the local traffic on the local side, not with those trucks. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know the solution, but I can see that being a disaster. And you believe so also.
But they can come in that side and turn in front.
Right.
Keep it with the local cars, and they're not gonna cut, I mean, you made a straight cut, that's ideal. If you make loops, that
Yeah, but
takes
the
time.
problem is, if you bring them in back here, you're gonna mix them with all the truck traffic back here. And you don't
Yeah.
wanna mix them with.
What's your solution?
Plus, my solution is to eliminate the driveway, but the township doesn't wanna do that, because then you're creating additional hazards of forcing everybody out.
I would rather them stay on the main road than mix them with those trucks. Cause you got a lot of trucks sitting there, and you see it down here at the island all the time, these tractor trailers.
I think the planning commission and this board has looked at, I assume this board's looked at the revision with that driveway over on the end.
Yep.
And the planning commission made a recommendation that that was much better than the old way. It came out
The old way had a-
But you see what I'm saying? People's gonna be late from work, they're gonna cut, it's a straight cut. They don't have a bend now.
This-
Now, they're gonna dodge in front of a truck, of course.
The planning commission agreed that this was probably the best solution to keep the driveway there, and
What if you moved it up with the cars, not the trucks?
you got
No
a
way to
sewer
get across
plant.
there.
You got a sewer plant on
No
that.
no matter where you go through here,
Mhm.
there's truck traffic. This is
But
all
you
truck
can
traffic.
see a problem coming in the future also.
This is a much better solution than what we had
Right.
previously.
It is, and the planning commission
But it
agreed.
doesn't mean it's the best
No,
Well,
scenario.
that would be the best. There is no best, because if you eliminate it, anybody that's back here that's going to this location has to come out onto Route 15,
Well,
which
that
is
could be
dangerous,
an issue
One
too.
which is dangerous in itself, so.
Plus, they're already coming down by the fire company anyway, not
Right.
outside of them.
Well, at least it's close to the fire company, right?
if you look closely at the plan, right here's an arrow. Where the trucks come in, that basically makes it one
And
way.
they make a loop?
The cars aren't gonna be coming.
Trucks come in, come out.
That's right.
And
The cars aren't gonna be coming back through the truck descent area. They're gonna be going to the front and coming in. This is
Yeah.
basically, there's probably gonna be some arrows down there on the ground to direct traffic. It all goes this way from the pumps. It flows
It's a one-way
towards the
system.
trading post. Now, if you come down the hill, you gotta go to the front and come in the front of the building.
But I can see them cutting across that front and the truck's slowly pulling out.
We can't do anything about the way they drive.
Don't.
This is a.
Put a sign,
fairly-
no free
Don't.
traffic, no,
Currently,
you
the
gotta
best-
stop and eat.
I can see a traffic light in front of your
Donna,
Jerry,
I'll
won't you?
tell you, I don't think you're gonna see that many trucks there.
Really?
Yeah, because I said, up at Liverpool, they have a Subway with their
I
station.
like them.
And I said, and I only ever see 2 or 3 trucks in there at any time.
Is this larger than the Subway there?
Well, this might be larger, but I don't think you're
You
gonna
don't
see
think
the
there's gonna
trucks
be a
in
lot?
there. I
I'll
just
tell you
don't
what,
think you're
Jerry,
gonna
you
see
and
it.
I
Hold
won't
it
be
to-
here in 20 years.
Anybody else have any comments on this before we act?
Can you just re-clarify the statement about the July 2nd meeting versus the August 6th meeting, so we understand everything?
That's what I'm-
That's a little confusing for
Maybe
some
I
of
can
us out there.
clarify it. I'm gonna make a motion that we accept his letter with the time extension to our August 6th supervisors meeting.
So we're not, even though we have our meeting on July 2nd, you're going to extend it another month, is what you're saying?
Beyond that, he's saying in case, so basically he'll give us 60 days, in case they happen to miss July, maybe that MPDS plan
Right.
might not come back.
Or in the event that, you know,
Saves him running
you don't
down
have
here.
a quorum,
That's
or,
what it does.
you know, something happens at the July 2nd meeting would be canceled.
Better to be
Or
safe.
even postponed a week.
I made that letter to, that motion to accept the extension to our August 6th meeting.
Okay, Nancy, I'll second
I'll
it.
second, yeah.
Go ahead, all in favor, aye.
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 Aye, okay, next. Anybody else?
I don't think we have anything else to go over at this time.
Anything, Jerry?
I would just ask, did the planning commission comments on that provision?
Yes, we
No,
did.
Just make sure you got
Yep,
them.
we did. Their comments were to add a no truck sign here, which we've added. To plug the well. And I'd have to go back and look.
show the well too, which you did.
What's that?
Show the well,
Yes, we showed the well here.
and you applied for your driveway permit.
Yes,
So all I'm saying is when we come back for final,
Yep.
make sure you
Everything's
address
ready.
those change comments also.
all right,
Thank you.
thank you.
Now,
I didn't-
go ahead.
I have a question. Did the supervisors take action on that plan? That
Yes, they did.
it's okay with the revision?
We didn't act on the revision. There was that revised.
I think it should be acted on,
Yeah,
so I know what
yeah,
I'm
Make a
review
reviewing.
so that it's on the records.
Yeah, make a motion that,
And you would, basically the revisions are we've moved the driveway and we moved the stormwater from here to down here, we have a stormwater, which is basically catching a lot more of the lot.
so I'll make a motion that we accept the changes on the plan. Anything else need to be added to that verbiage? Second it?
I'll second it. Okay, in favor. Is there anything?
I have a question on it.
Whatever.
Would it be better to say that we accept
Accept it.
submittal of the revised plan and the recommendations of the planning commission on the revised plan?
They had already given their submission.
We
But
would-
it's not in our records.
You want
Yeah,
to,
we're
okay,
all
Right.
right.
yeah,
The revised plan is dated 5/13.
Right.
Russ,
That's
previous,
Include
yeah,
that-
no, that's,
include that.
it's gonna
I
happen.
mean, it's not my motion, but that's my question.
Yeah.
Would it be better to have that motion? that
Well, we can put
accept?
an additional, that's not a problem.
So it's gonna say something along the lines, we accept the revised plan
With it.
with the
Planning commission's,
planning commission's comment,
Comments.
revised plan being dated
5/13.
5/13. If that's the revised motion,
yeah, that's
And I-
Okay, you got that?
Yeah.
Second,
I'm
that's all in favor.
in favor.
Okay, good and welfare.
Okay, I'll talk.
Do something.
We thank you for the sign. You put that up so quick, that was like you wished. I couldn't believe it. Overnight, that sign was up. Thank you.
You're quite welcome. Anybody else, good and welfare?
Right here. Ryan Rapesnyder, 205.
Yeah, go ahead.
During the months of April and May, the Watts Township Driveway Committee has met numerous occasions, and we have drafted a new ordinance to replace the 2010 driveway ordinance. This new ordinance is designed to respect our private property rights while still ensuring that new driveways are safely connected to our roads. It is our intent to work together with the board in order to replace the 2010 ordinance before any more of our friends and neighbors find themselves at odds with the current ordinance. We are therefore requesting that if the board or anyone else who's reviewing this ordinance has any questions or concern, that we are to be contacted as soon as possible. We would also ask that any questions or concerns be in written form so as to be able to respond as quickly and clearly as possible. At this time, we have copies of the proposed ordinance to present to the board. Okay, the other issue that I have is I understand there's an opening with the Act 537 committee, and I'd like to volunteer for that.
If I might just interrupt.
Sure.
Is this the same one that was sent?
Yes.
There's no revision?
No revision,
No.
it's identical.
Okay. Just so you all know, we got, I think there was a mailing one out, I got it.
Yeah, my mailing was.
So we're getting the same thing that you all received in advance.
I think, yeah, the phone number we can contact.
You can call me at 834-3182.
What was that number again?
3182.
Actually, this thing's gonna go to the planning commission. Thank you.
Yep.
And you're officially volunteering for the Act 537?
Yes, I am.
Okay, I will add your name to the list.
Okay, thank you.
Your name's Brian.
Yes, Brian Rickson.
Yeah.
Yep, if you have any questions, you can call me.
And our engineer. His comment.
Okay, well, thank you for really working this thing up. And we'll turn it over to the planning commission. And from there, we'll go to the solicitor, and then we'll be back with you with our, whatever he has changes to be made.
And I'll make a motion that we forward the draft of the revised driveway ordinance to our planning commission for review and to our engineer for review.
Our solicitor. Our solicitor also?
Yes.
No,
No,
that's not
just
my
the
motion. I
two.
want to get their comments so we can look at their comments
Oh,
before we
okay.
respond.
I just thought maybe you left one out. That's okay.
I left it out, I didn't say
Okay.
that. So it's just to the planning commission and our
Right.
engineer for now, and
Okay.
get those comments back to us.
Second it, all in favor, aye?
All right.
Aye. Okay, anybody else can go to welfare? Go ahead.
We had another, I'm sorry,
What-
we had another item, he volunteered for our 537 committee, which
Yes.
came up with an opening.
Yeah,
Do we
Yes.
want to appoint him to replace Lisa?
Well, it was, yeah.
I'll make a motion to appoint Brian Rothsteiner to our 537 committee. Is there, unless there's somebody else who wants to volunteer to serve on our 537 committee? Then I'll make that motion.
I think the motion died in a second.
Are we going to fill the committee?
Yeah, we're gonna go.
You have,
Let's give more people a chance to come on, you know.
How many openings are there?
there's 50 people here now.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah,
When are we going to fill
well,
it? This would be my next question then.
We'll talk about next month.
At next month's meeting?
Yeah, we'll talk about next month.
All right.
Let's, I mean, there's more people that might be interested too, and then we can pick. Right?
So it died, and we're announcing that we're going to fill it at next month's meeting.
Right. At the July 2nd meeting.
Could somebody tell everybody else in the room what the 537 committee is? Because I think there's a lot of people here who don't understand what's going on.
Good question.
Like 537 is the, going over, all we have to do that for the state, for all your septic systems and everything, and it'll be it's a state mandatory.
Yeah, I did know, but
I didn't know, but how many people is on this committee and how many people do you need to volunteer?
How many do we have on
Three. There's three, well, now there's two.
there?
But it was a three-person committee.
Yeah,
You can sign me up.
put you on too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll volunteer.
Okay, we got two people then.
is there a limit of the amount of people that can be on that?
Not really, but we were trying to keep it at 3 people.
Ideally, it's supposed to be a combination of people from different parts of the township and different thoughts. Like, different like a
How
business plan.
How
Okay.
often do they meet?
Oh, sure, go ahead. Nancy wants to say something. Nancy wants to say something.
I just want to clarify, the Act 537 plan was a state mandated from DEP that we have a sewage plan in place. And every 5 to 10 years, it has to be updated. And they take samples out of people's septic tanks and that type of deal, that in the event a sewer system were ever to be built for the township, they would have a plan of who would have to connect to this. So what they're doing now is they're looking at the plan that was 5 years ago, and they're updating it to make sure all the facts and figures are right. Does that help?
The other counties have it, I just didn't know it was on 512,
Okay.
but I've dealt with the other counties.
Oh, okay.
They sample wells, not septic, right?
They sample wells? I thought
They
it was-
inspect
They
the
do
systems.
chloroforms and stuff, well, yeah,
Right.
the systems.
They inspect the systems.
Right.
That's what they do in the other-
Right,
They test the well.
right.
Do
That sounded
they
just-
have to test the
That
wells?
sounded just a
They
little
have to test
confusing,
the
because I heard
percentage
you
of the
say, in the event that a plant was ever required, this plan determines whether a sewage plant is required for our township.
Yeah.
99.9% of the time in a rural area like this, it isn't, but it determines that. That's the purpose of the plan, to determine what the future sewage needs of this township are. If there were a cluster of bad sewage areas like there was in Buffalo, we might need a sewage. That's what this plan does. It determines the need for future sewage in this township.
So clarify, how many people can be on this board?
Right.
I didn't hear what you said up there.
I think we currently have it set at 3 members.
Why is it only 3 though?
Let other ones join, it's okay. We worked together on this and had a whole bunch.
Well, we just set that up because we had people volunteer.
Yeah, the more knowledge, the more
Yeah.
information.
I mean, everybody could throw their name in a hat and we'll go
Yeah.
from there.
Okay.
The board can consider extending that.
Go ahead,
next
you and
month.
John
We can-
sign
If we want more.
Do we have to do that tonight, Carl, to
Yeah.
volunteer, or?
We can extend that
Rob,
at the July meeting.
the more knowledge we have.
Yes, the next, it can
We
be,
do
I
long
think
term.
it can be extended when we do it next month. If we have 16 people volunteer, we can say we're gonna
Okay.
have 16
Do
people.
it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, John and I are on too.
Okay, your turn.
Did you, yeah, want to turn?
Good evening.
Yeah.
Craig Nace, Duncannon EMS. I've got our end of year 2013 report. I apologize for recording this in early. I also apologize for recording this at tonight's meeting. I went to the community center first. The report, I had a somewhat substantial life change. I had a newborn baby in March, so the report's about a month and a half later than I normally would have had it, so I apologize for that. I'm going to quickly go through the pages in the document.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Also, our 2014, 2015 subscription program is out. Hopefully, everyone received
I
one.
received
However,
it. It's in the
we
mail.
had a lot of issues with the post offices yet again, through Duncannon in particular. So if anyone didn't, I can give you these for in the office. The 2013 end of year report starts with the cover page and then a cover letter just highlighting some of our accomplishments in 2013. There is a typo at the bottom where it indicates the elected and appointed officers for 2013. It should say 2014. I used the letter from last year and simply updated that information. So that's a typo in the final paragraph. The following page, the overall call statistics, we were dispatching 1,128 calls in 2013. Of those, we had 23 calls where we didn't have an ambulance available for mechanical reasons or because they were already committed to emergency incidents or otherwise. There were 54 calls, and this is in our total area, not just Watts Township, where we didn't have a crew available for a second or third ambulance. We always got the first ambulance out, and we're the only agency in the county that can say that. Next page is a breakdown by the call type, and it breaks down the realistic revenue based on billing. We do bill third-party insurance. We also bill non-subscribers directly to cover that cost. However, collection is a totally different matter. Anyone deals with insurance companies obviously knows that. Following page breaks it down by municipality. You'll see Watts Township, there were 131 dispatched emergency calls. We handled 120 of them, that's 91.6%. And then it breaks down that percentage of the total, the overall volume of 1,128. Your second due agencies, if we're not available or don't have crew available immediately, are Newport for kind of the 322 half of the township, and Liverpool typically for the 1115 side of the township. The next page breaks it down with the other agencies. I don't say call it a highlight, but one point to make there. The third one down, Nicholsburg Fire Company ambulance is now out of service, out of business. They had a variety of challenges, some of which were financially. We were trying to pay staff because they didn't have volunteers available, and ultimately lived on savings for a while and are now out of business. So they're being covered by New Bloomfield's ambulance company from New Bloomfield. If you know the geography, however, that may be a 30-minute drive to Participant Township, unfortunately. So just something to keep on your radar. There are currently other agencies struggling. I can't say that we're doing exceptionally well financially, but we've made it this far, so we hope to continue to make it further.
On this page,
Yes.
what does this mean?
That is a comparison to the other agencies in the county.
Volunteer means.
It's breaking down the comparison of volunteer, who's using all volunteers, and the only agency currently using 100% volunteers is Blaine. Agency Blaine's all Blaine's, it's less than 200. Everyone else in the county, all the other EMS agencies in the county, most people I think that are from this area expect the agencies to be volunteer. Fire companies are largely volunteer. 10 years ago, I would say most of the EMS agencies, with the exception probably of Newport and New Bloomfield, were 100% volunteer. That's significantly changed. We're about a 50-50 split right now, and that's just counting get the ambulance out the door personnel. It doesn't count our auxiliary staff, our fundraising staff, our social members that want nothing to do with patients in the back of the ambulance. So we're about a 50-50 split, and that's, I think, a large part of the reason we've been able to continue providing the service we have. But currently, I'll say Millerstown and Marysville are two that are having a lot of issues with personnel. They're at a tough spot because their call volume doesn't dictate the amount of revenue that would be required to pay staff to get the ambulance out the door. So if they don't have the volunteers, and both are very much hurting for volunteers, their ambulance doesn't get out. So the state passed Act 37 of 2009, which put some more requirements on EMS agencies in service 24/7, things like that. Immediately affected Liverpool's ambulance because they used to be out of service Monday through Friday for 10 hours, I believe, a day. So they're back in service, and they're staffing with a combination of employees and volunteers, but it's putting a lot more demands on some of these agencies and putting more demands on if you don't have a schedule, you should be out of service. So it's just been quite a road trip here for us. That act, the final rules and regulations for that act went into effect April 10th of this year. So it took 3 years to write the rules and regulations, go to the IRC, and actually have them put in place. But there's going to be a lot of ongoing challenges with agencies and with counties throughout the Commonwealth, like Perry, because of the rural nature of the county. The next page breaks down our approximate time commitment between volunteers and employees. This page does include our social members, our fundraising members, people that work Sunday dinners, people that work our bingo program, the breakfast with Santa, breakfast with Easter Bunny, some of those activities, our catering, etc. And you'll see that breakdown, actually, the volunteer hours are slightly less. It's 23,600 volunteer hours, 26,500 employee hours. A large part of that is we've taken on non-emergency transports, returns from hospitals between facilities, etc., largely to supplement the income that we don't have from the emergency runs. Next page breaks down our revenue report. That's actually our budget and year-end report. We were low and halfway down. Penn Township had budgeted a $14,500 annual contribution, but it was delayed for a variety of reasons and not paid actually until 2014. So that contribution did come in, but it doesn't show up until 2014 because of the way it was paid. The next page is our expense report. Shows a breakdown by our 10 different line items of where the funding goes, or where the revenue goes. And you'll see we had projected $436,000 in expenses, and we actually had a net revenue of $9,800. It's not much to put into repair buildings and invest in future equipment, but we're maintaining. Next page is a cost analysis using the Ambulance Association of Pennsylvania's numbers. And if you look down through a lot of data there, and I'm not going to go into the details, but it breaks down our cost per hour, our cost per shift, our cost per day, our cost per week, and then ultimately comes up with what we should be billing to make, to break even, showing a 10% desired capital or revenue balance at the end of the year. Following pages are end-of-year actual cash balances and real estate vehicle balances, etc. And you'll see our cash assets are $755,000. Large piece of that is the property in the building and the vehicles. The liabilities, however, total to $400,000. So actual on-hand cash is usually via line of credit. Next page is our 2014 as of the end of March Call statistics, we're right on track to be in line with the last 3 or 4 years, about 1,100, 1,200 calls on the emergency side at the end of the year. Next page is one we're particularly proud of. It's a breakdown since 2000 of our total calls dispatched, total calls failed, meaning we didn't have a crew for our first out ambulance, and then that year-ending fail rate. You'll see 2004, 10 years ago, 927 dispatch calls, 254 of those calls we did not respond because we didn't have people, almost 30%. Since that time, we've done a lot of realignment. Our board has all been reappointed since then. We've brought on a lot of part-time staff. We have a full-time person in the office. I've brought in some consulting services, and we're now down to 0% proudly since 2006. So we've always got our first ambulance out, the second, third, fourth ambulances, depending on staffing, depending on how they're committed, otherwise may or may not get out the door, but they're always automatically replaced by the next closest agency. Next page shows our 2014 budgeted contributions by municipality. The 2 municipalities that currently contribute are Penn Township and Wheatfield Township. Both do have money budgeted for 2014 for Buchanan EMS. Also shows the actual emergency calls in 2013. The final page is a summary of our 2014 proposed budget. This is always a working document because it's so hard to forecast emergency dispatches. It's so hard also to forecast who's going to pay and when. So those numbers are, it's almost a balanced budget, but you'll see at the bottom the budgeted expenses are $15,000 less than the budgeted revenue, and that's because of the Penn Township piece, that $15,000 from Penn Township. That's the report. Certainly if there are any questions, I don't expect you to digest it tonight, but certainly if there are any questions, don't hesitate to contact me. All my contact information is on that cover letter. Contact me through the office as well, and I'll be happy to provide any additional information, as well as anyone in the audience if there's anything that you're looking for from the service that provides your EMS in Hawks Township. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your time tonight. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else going to offer? Okay. Zoning officer?
Reports before you, we had 5 actually new issues, and 1 was a rescission and then a reissue to change the driveway location. Pretty well that's it.
This loop step, is that a zoning permit?
That is a driveway permit. We had a dispute with his neighbor across Circle Road. The neighbor said that he owned 4 foot on Luke's side of the road, and he wouldn't give him right-of-way access for a driveway, so Jerry and I negotiated with Luke to put a driveway in a different spot.
Was the permit issued at the original spot or at the new spot?
Now, permit 214-4-1A is for the new spot.
214-4-1 was for the old spot.
Yes.
I actually had a call from it was Luke Step, wondering why he got a permit when it didn't qualify for a permit. And that's what you're saying.
Can you speak up, Frank? I can't hear you.
I said I got a call from, I'll just say Mr. Step, saying he got a permit, but the driveway actually didn't qualify for a permit. That would be
That's what I'm talking about.
-1.
Yes.
I guess my question is, how did one, you said he gave you a plan or something that showed that?
Right.
Strip. How did you get a permit in the first place?
Well, Jerry and I had walked off and got the site distance.
Did he show that he didn't own the land to the right of way?
That's right.
I don't think he showed that on, I wasn't aware of any plan like that. He had it marked where he was going to put his driveway.
Well, maybe he informed me wrong, but he told me that he gave you their subdivision plan and it showed a 30-foot dedicated right-of-way on it or something?
He may have, I don't recall. He did give me some sort of drawing.
He was disturbed, that's all I'm going to say. But it's straightened out now.
Correct.
He's got another location.
It's gonna cost him 700 foot of driveway, but that's his only choice.
And did we didn't charge him a second time for a
No.
permit?
That man, he had showed that going in there. Engineer?
The stream restoration here at the fire company, I did meet with Neil Imes of the Perry County Conservation District, and he informed me that it would be a general permit under Chapter 105. And he, in this last week, he gave me the contact of DEP, who I have to contact, and will be issuing that permit. It won't come through Neil up here at the Conservation District, so I'll be contacting them this week and later this week yet.
Is there a chance to get an exempt fee from that?
I'll find out. Notch Road widening. I went and I walked the first half of it, looking at it and what we have. The road basically 17 foot wide, cartway, right now. And it seems like that we need, you were asking about 1.5 feet on each side.
Yeah.
There's several areas that it's going to be a real issue to get 1.5 feet. And it's mostly where the bank is on the east side where it goes down. And I don't know whether we can even get it into the right-of-way of widening to start with. But the 17 foot, I did notice, some of the things I noticed when I was walking it, the line's not, the center line isn't painted in the center of that road. Some of it will have to be a foot one way or the other. So I said that when they restripe that, somebody should take real care on how they restripe it. Because one lane's narrow, one lane wider. So there's, in the section I did, there's a couple, well, there's one macadam driveway, one concrete driveway, and a couple stone driveways that go up pretty steep. So widening is going to make it steeper into their driveways. Right across from Butch's driveway, there's one tree that's going to have to come down. It's huge, and it's over top of the phone line. It has to only be a couple feet off the road now. But anyway, and then a lot of the signs, a lot of the traffic signs and the curb signs would have to be moved back, which wouldn't be any biggie. But one thing that I noticed, the straight sections, I take it, aren't really an issue, it's the turns. And I said the one turns that I really saw that I thought was bad was from where Rudy's house is up to the top of that hill. And I think it's mostly because people can't see. The brush goes right out to the edge of the road on the lower side or the left side as you're going out. And I said it should be cut back.
On the Rudy side.
On the Rudy side. And I said, I can imagine people getting up there to that turn, someone's trying to cut the corner and you can't see anybody coming and the brush is there. So I think the brush might be, or the
Well, it's the
brush
whole
along
way
there.
out. When the brush and the grass grows up against the road, then it makes it even smaller with
Yeah.
the crooked lines.
But I said,
It's not just there, it is other spots
but I
too
said,
there.
but that's one I've noticed just walking it.
Some people never mows their grass, and that makes the road even tighter.
Yeah. But I think that if there was a couple feet of good shoulder on there, it would alleviate a couple of the problems. And it might not even have to be a paved shoulder, but at least a good shoulder, because some of the shoulders are washing out now.
Did you notice in places there's no shoulder action?
Yes. And that's what I said, at one place, I don't think we can widen it there, that one place where the brush is out along with that I was just talking about. I don't think we can widen that there. because I said, I don't think we'll ever get it in the right of way. I don't know where the right of way is down there, but there's a steep bank there.
Are you saying, but you said it's a drop-off bank? Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I said, so I don't know how far out we'd have to fill it to get it.
To get it filled in at a decent slope.
And- But I don't think there, I'm not sure there would be enough right of way on that side, at that location.
What about the other side?
The other side, you might be able to go a little further.
In that area,
Yeah.
if you,
But then
your woodwork something out.
doing that, it would make the turn sharper
Yeah.
if we widen it that side. But I'll go and do anything how you want to proceed. Do you want me to come up with an estimate of what,
Yeah.
how to widen it, basically 3 feet? Where we'll try 1.5 feet on each side except where that
Let-
is.
Let me ask this, what would your recommendation be for an adequate width? I mean, it's
17.
Well, the
16,
straight
17
section,
now.
17 feet would be okay. People can pass. And is the fire company here?
No, they're not.
They're not here today?
They have an issue. They told us they can't get 2 fire trucks side by side. But if you're gonna widen it, wouldn't it be better to go the whole road on both sides? I mean, there's 4
Yeah,
foot.
but you can't do it on some of the areas, you can't do it.
So the straight section's 17 wide is fine, but what about the shoulder on the straight section?
Well, I think there should be 2-foot shoulders anywhere, everywhere.
17
At
foot
least.
wide with 2-foot shoulders.
Yeah.
Okay, and then the curves,
What?
what are you suggesting for the curves?
The
turns?
curves, I think that if you had 17, but you need the good sight, you need to be able to see people coming into the turns. And I think that's what they don't see at the one turn especially. 2 people can meet there and
Oh, yeah.
they're coming together and you
That.
just can't see the person coming the other direction.
So possibly a little extra lane there would help also.
It would help.
How about a sign, any kind of a speed sign, just to get,
Well, you can put a reduced speed, but I said people aren't gonna, people won't follow them anyway.
So for now, you're just saying the curves could be a little wider.
The curbs, I think, the curbs are the biggest problem, I think, on the road. And some of the curves are, the first curve going in there, the pavement's 19 foot wide now. The first curve.
That's better.
Yeah, and I said, but that's the first one that you start to the left. And then I did,
Progressively narrow.
yeah, it's right above Butch's driveway. That one's wider there.
Then it starts to get more narrow, and all the way out the end, it's actually, where we're
Yeah.
going to be building the cul-de-sac, it's actually dilapidated.
do you know when you'd be getting lines? Do you have any idea
We're
when?
not gonna put no lines on until we fix the road.
No.
That's, we're wasting that money, because we have to use double lines. Well, Jerry, you have, maybe next week, we could go down through there and look at that little,
Sure.
do you have any special time?
I can probably make my time
Okay.
agree to whatever you want.
After 4,
Yeah, we do it after 4, is
Sure.
that okay?
pick a day. Wait, next week's planning commission on
Wednesday. I got one down with the road up to Jamestown. Okay.
Can we make it like Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday?
How about Tuesday?
Tuesday? What time and where do you want to meet?
Well, and let's meet back at Township office at 4 o'clock then.
Township building?
Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to work out.
So we'll all try to be there,
Yeah, Tuesday before.
listen to your view.
The area you were talking about is up right across from, right past Butch's there. That is a bad area. And I encountered vehicles there a couple of different
Well, I
times.
can imagine
Yeah.
regular vehicles, 2 people in the cars.
Try a bus.
One of them will be trying to take the turn short. And the
Yeah.
other one coming the other way they meet right there,
Right,
and you
even
don't see
down-
them coming.
Were you over there by King's when you go round that bend and then
I
the
don't know
deep
the
dip?
names.
Oh, that's.
Oh, that's bad. They
Where
go
that-
down
Yeah,
off
where you
there.
You come
The
down
next
that
where you come
sharp
down
curve
around
and
the
then
curve.
I
down
didn't go out
through.
that
Down
far.
into the
Well,
ditch.
that's by
That's bad.
Linda's, that's
You gotta
a
try
real
that.
bad area.
Okay.
That's where the road really drops off.
Yeah,
Well, we appreciate you doing that and your
Okay.
recommendations.
very much so.
Okay, do we have nothing with the SEO,
No, I had nothing for him.
solicitor, nothing? The fire company isn't here. Okay, then we go into old business. Okay, you closed out the GF at Orstown, right?
Not yet.
Oh,
I'm waiting
okay.
for the audit to be
Oh,
completed.
you're waiting on that?
Yep.
Okay, well, how about this computer security expert? It's called, did anybody get anything on that?
There's a fellow that I had mentioned that can look into that, and I still want to do that. I'll probably be able to find out in the next, well, before the next meeting, for sure,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to.
Okay, we're working on the letter of the Rising Sun. You're working on that, Nance, right? The Saldo, we hear any more on that?
Jerry and I are going to get together on a Tuesday when there's no township business being conducted so that we can sit down and really concentrate and see where we're at with it. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because the policy was canceled one year and then was reissued, so I'm asking Robin to help me figure out exactly what was paid for the borough.
Okay, and the credit card, we still can't do nothing about that because we need the audits, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, you send a letter over to them about the loud music, so that,
Well, I didn't, you said it was fine and Pat said it was fine. I didn't get a response from Frank,
I'm
so,
sorry. I thought I left it with you that if you added that, it was fine.
well, I just wanted you to.
I did see it, and I didn't respond.
Okay,
It's
I
fine.
will-
Send it out. Put a little teeth in the last one, and send it, okay?
okay, then the 2012 audit, you advertise, or you
It's
don't
in
advertise
this week's paper.
it? Okay. Anything else on old business? Anybody have anything?
Record says you put some white line, and I looked at it in the grass there.
Yeah.
He'd like to know what's being proposed there.
Well, suppose like we did next door. I didn't talk to him because he wasn't part. See, because where the other one comes out, it can break down, it goes right down. So we would bring that down all the way across the front there, and try to get in that pipe.
She
Is there a
didn't bring
pipe
it up yet.
at his driveway?
Bring it outside the driveway, yeah.
Will it go across? Well, his concern to me was that he assumed that you were gonna pave that like you did there.
Yeah,
They would now just turn down his driveway. So,
yeah, we don't have to make that work until, don't go down the driveway. But he
maybe,
wasn't there when we painted it.
maybe you should make sure you talk to him and maybe
That's
give him a chance to come to us and
But I would,
before we go putting the paving
we ain't
in.
gonna do nothing till we talk to him.
All right, well,
Yeah, he satisfied.
we'll make sure, well, I'm asking that you bring him to the board if he has any problems with it at all.
Okay. Up under new business, Lisa Dormer resigned from the Act 537. Rudy settlement. The man wants $150,000 from the township. Then he wants $200,000 from Butch Wilton. And he wants all permits and everything given to him, which is out of the ballpark. Because he hasn't complied with anything, so he should be issued no permits as far as I'm concerned. There's no other place where I work at that would ever issue a permit for what he wants. He has to go through zoning and permits.
Well, the settlement was turned down by the insurance company. Did our solicitor say whether we needed to take official action?
No,
Not yet.
We don't have to?
no, we don't.
No, they have it.
Yeah, it's in the insurance attorney's hands and he rejected that settlement. And he's saying it's ridiculous and.
Okay, the stop sign, I moved that back, and Amity and Notch were working on that.
Thank you.
And What do you have, these trees here, whatever?
Oh, no, just that there was,
I'm still back on new business. I saw an email about reporting where our electronic disposals go from someone.
Yes, there's a form that needs to be filled out. I was not aware of this form.
it's a brand new thing.
The
that we just started.
brand new mandate. It just stipulates the date that we're collecting, where we are taking the recycling for the electronic material, and who's going to be transporting it, and where it is going, and then it has to be signed by one of the supervisors of the township.
And I talked to Sally, who sent the email about it. That form has to be filled out, it doesn't even have to be filled out before the meeting, or before the cleanup. It's just a new form that they have come up with, DEP has come up with, for recycling.
This is saying designate the certified recycling facility. Now, are we certain that wherever we're taking them is certified?
Yeah.
And then, is there any requirements for the hauler? Or I remember last year, for example, you said about taking Best Buy this year. Didn't they have a maximum size?
32 inches.
So is that what we're accepting?
That's all we can go.
Nothing over 32? Because I didn't see that in the paper. It just said electronic.
We just found that out, too.
What was on last year?
Yeah.
We found that out
But
last
this
year.
is Daimler, this stuff here is from Daimler's.
Yeah, Daimler, yeah, and I talked with them too.
So we're taking it to Daimler now?
Yeah, they'll take it.
That's
Yeah,
what
just
they
either-
said
it doesn't
last
matter as long
meeting, they
as
were
it's
taking it to
certified
Diners.
place that you can take it to, it's not an issue.
Daimler's is closer right now.
All right,
Yes.
so- Okay, last month we said that you were taking them to Best Buy.
We just found
Now
out
we
about the
just,
Daimler's.
so now we are gonna take them to Daimler's, and Daimler's is certified.
Yes, as long as it's certified, that's all they can.
And that will satisfy this form,
Yep.
Yep, that's what that's for.
and I guess, does Daimler's have to sign anything?
No, we just have to take it. In fact, I'm talking to a couple of other companies, finding other options out too that we might be able to do.
Wherever we take them,
Working
let's
on it.
be absolutely certain that they're certified.
Oh, yeah.
Now, would
But you
Daimler
only
take
got some
over
people
it too?
that are certified.
Here's one too that had collapsed it, and they tried to take a fee, and they said it's not allowed.
You're not allowed to take a fee for anything
No, you're
that's
not allowed to take a
collected.
fee for it, but you can take a fee for service.
They said, no, you're not allowed to take a fee for anything. Nothing.
That was the same woman that she talked to.
Well, we're checking into that a little bit more.
She said, no.
She said that today.
No, absolutely nothing is to be charged for any
I know, and
electronics and
I
computers brought in.
I understand that, and I have an email from her, and I talked with her yesterday.
I
and-
did
What did she
too.
tell you?
No, what I'm saying is, she gave me a list of other places.
But did she say
But
you
she
can
said
charge
no
or not charge?
charging.
No, as far as charging, we can't,
That's all she's saying.
Yeah,
Okay.
you can't charge.
Okay.
Courtesy or nothing, you cannot charge.
I don't understand what was just said. Are we in trouble or
It
are
does-
we
You
in
can't charge
trouble?
a fee.
If you charge for them, you are.
They will let us charge a fee.
Our collection fee is illegal?
It's illegal, yes.
What they just told us about when this form came up. And what happened
that
is
was
somebody
the
called
act.
DEP, somebody contacted Daimler, and somebody was an instigator. Or-
Well, I mean, I wouldn't call it instigator, I'd call it looking out for us.
That me?
My goodness.
Hey, that's me.
We're gonna get in trouble
Looking
on
out,
this.
looking out for the township.
Where,
So I was told when I talked to her the first time that we could charge for the service.
No, you were not.
Yes, I'm with you. No, I'm not gonna argue.
I'm not either, because I talked to the woman in charge.
I have a question, are we charging the people $10 or not?
We
I mean,
can't.
we're not clarifying things here, so please clarify so we know.
No, we're not gonna be charging them. No, we're not gonna be charging people.
We're taking electronics for free. Is Daimler taking them for free?
Yes, they will take them for free.
We're transporting them for free.
That is correct. Yes, so, and I also called, and I have a list of people who are calling me back. So, because the thing is, there's a $200 fee if Daimler brings out a container.
Yeah.
It was, the only other thing is, we'll change it next year it'll just be like I put in the year last time. Well, in fact, if they're gonna do it as of October, nobody wants to take electronics, no matter who, not even Diamond, because it's not cost effective. They don't make any money on it. They get reimbursed by the manufacturer. But that's not even cost effective for them, so they're not gonna even take it. Not effective as of October.
So this might be the
Best-
last year to get rid of them.
Yeah,
Right.
Why?
Best Buy takes them, Advanced Computers takes them.
All right, I'm like her, I'm like you, I still need, I
We're not
want to
gonna
make
be
sure.
charged, we're not gonna be charging anything for electronics.
One, we're not going
If-
to be charging anything.
And why are we, why is,
We're
why
going
is,
to take them.
Right.
We'll take them.
We're taking electronics, there's no longer a
Take
fee.
them out there,
We're taking them to a certified,
or distributing
whatever,
Distributor.
certified recycling
Yes.
facility.
Yeah.
but it's going to cost the township $200 to do this?
No, that was, when I called,
Let me finish, okay?
Okay,
I'm trying to clarify, and then you guys tell me where I went wrong. We're taking electronics, we're not charging a $10 fee, we're hauling them, I think Carl said he's gonna haul them to the certified facility
right,
at no charge to the township.
correct. Right, you
Is
got
that,
it.
is that the
That's
gist
it.
of it?
That's the
whole
gist
thing.
of it right now.
All right.
Okay.
And one thing I want to say is that form has been out for quite a while because it was online. That's where I got it.
Okay, but I'm saying the call, the email that came.
Well, you said it just came out.
No,
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Okay,
don't, what just.
That's what you
is-
said.
yeah. Another thing, I don't know if it's of any interest to,
you still have a question?
yeah, what about tires?
Tires are in the ad, I think you saw that ad. Yes, we do. And they're depending on what size, they're like, they're priced differently. Car tire, you do, yes. Yep.
This is pretty much in line, except the truck tires are cheap.
Yeah, right. It's pretty much in line with everything.
Ours. Oh, why?
Okay, what about this tree bed?
Go ahead. Oh, just that, I had been called by dispatch on the 31st, this past Saturday, and they had called that nobody, they couldn't get a hold of anyone, so dispatch called me, and I put up barricades on the road, because there was a tree that was down and hung up on the lines, and it was actually kind of dangerous the way it was.
Was that on the creek road?
Yeah.
So it still wasn't on a road?
Yeah, so anyway, dispatch called, and near Andy Peters, I think it's the taxidermist. So I put barriers out in, barricades out in front and back until, actually, apparently it was reported, from what I understood, at 9 o'clock in the morning. I guess Andy Peters had reported it, but nobody came, and PP&L ended up having to come out and getting the lines, the tree cut from the lines. Because it was literally, if it would have been a truck would have topped into the big part of the tree. So anyway, it ended up, I went out and put the cones up, and there was another gentleman from the fire department, Mr. Miller, and he and I stayed there until PP&L came out. And it was about probably an hour and a half or so. And I'm just saying that, and then today, there was a tree on Notch Road that I pulled out of Notch, and then talked to Woody, and he finished sawing it, but I didn't charge for either of those times. That's why it says no pay, and I didn't charge for that, for either of those.
I guess I'm confused on the first one. Maybe the secretary, I did get a call on my machine, even down in Dover.
Yeah.
I had a call, I had my answering machine,
Yeah.
I wasn't there to get it, obviously.
Yeah.
But are we responsible for Creek Road?
No.
Is the trees down on,
This was on
it's
Notch
a state
Road,
road?
Well, Notch Road was the one today,
Yeah, there's a smaller tree on Notch.
yeah.
Yeah, but are we,
We're not
my question is, are
responsible.
are they supposed to be calling us? Or can we get them to understand which roads are state if they're not supposed to be
Yeah,
calling?
well, I know that Mr. Miller, I talked to him too from the fire department, and it was just a matter of a courtesy thing.
Yeah.
Is Notch Road not a township road?
Yeah, notches.
No, not you, we're talking about the one on Creek.
Creek.
I understand what you're saying, it was a courtesy thing, but I'd like to
We
straighten it out
we
with
should probably
them.
EMS, yeah, we should probably
Yeah.
get 911
So
and let
that-
them know what roads are what.
You know, if they're calling us as a courtesy, we have no, but
Right, we
whoever
don't-
is responsible
Right.
needs to be called
Right.
also.
State is,
Yep.
exactly right.
So let's make a note to try and
Let
contact
them know
whoever
which
it
ones
is.
are which.
Usually if I'm around, I can tell them where road, you
I
know.
knew that either.
Yeah,
We're
but
not around.
it was probably just last fall or
I'm
something.
hugging some
We gave Carl's name, as a backup. Whoever we gave those numbers to, check with them and see if there's a way
Huggins
that
is
we
state.
can help them understand
Yeah.
which roads we're responsible.
Right.
We probably appreciate a secondary call, but the primary call should be going to the responsible party.
Right.
That should be exactly. Okay. The Planning Commission report.
Well, pretty much just saw whatever with Liberty Petroleum, they came in and there were some reviews and some changes. And now we've just given them a conditional for the approval for another 90 days.
And that's Liberty Patrol, Liberty Travel Plaza, that's what we just gave the extension to. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Talk to him on this.
I know this form came, it was in my box at the office, the comprehensive county issues survey for the comprehensive. Is that something they want us to fill out and
Yeah,
send back?
they would like us to. I talked to Mr. Finnery, and if possible, I mean, he would just like to get as many people to fill out as possible.
Is
It's
that
not,
something that you can do, Nancy? You have that enough
I
knowledge
do,
about the
yes.
township?
it's not mandatory, it's just a nicety, so he can get a better
Better
feel for
feeling.
things.
Well, I'd like to authorize the secretary to fill out the form and send it back.
Want to make a motion?
I forget where it was.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, I'll second it, all in favor?
What's the status of our 2013?
How are you doing with that, Nancy? He's not getting back to you, is he?
I finally did get a hold of him. What I'm doing is sending all the financial spreadsheets to him for him to review, so that if anything looks odd to him, he can question it right away. Then he will come into the office, him and Mary, and they will start doing the audit. So you will see in the township email, you will see those registers, payroll, receipts, disbursements going to Tom.
All right, I had a complaint from someone who was getting an occupancy permit, zoning permit for occupancy, and they told me that the zoning officer requested they enter their home before issuing the occupancy permit. And I was wondering, they asked me, and I didn't have an answer, what's the purpose for going inside the home for the zoning occupancy permit?
I don't do occupancy.
No,
That's done by BIU.
If you issue zoning occupancy permits.
You issue it after, you don't issue occupancy.
No.
Ken issues them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
BIU does
talk
that.
to BIU.
We don't issue zoning occupancy
No.
permits.
No.
Well, the ordinance calls for zoning occupancy permits, I believe.
Yes, but Ken issues it.
Not for zoning, he can't issue for zoning.
He could issue the occupancy permit, yet he can go in a house, because he can check everything. He has
Well,
to.
he does, yeah. The BIU would make sense, but this person said that the zoning officer
Oh, he's right, no.
came there and asked to go in their house.
Not me.
It wasn't you. Okay, then we're clear.
Yeah, because Ken does that with the ones I had. He comes and checks everything, and then he issues paperwork.
I was told by this person that
With the zoning
it was
officer.
the zoning officer. If it was BIU, that makes sense.
Yeah, because he's the one that does it.
All right, well, with all the complaints complaints I've had about zoning officer, I just want to announce that I'm willing to listen to any applicant for zoning officer. It's actually zoning and code enforcement officer, so if anybody's interested, please come forward, put your name into the township, and we'll consider replacing our zoning officer. That's my position on the zoning.
What can we do about replacing the supervisor?
Go on to the next election.
Right now.
Next election.
Next election, we'll be going, it's all about it. If I didn't vote for the last 4 times.
Okay,
Don't
we
be
went
very
down.
long.
We're looking at bills.
I looked at the bills. We bought a noise unit. How much was that? And what was that under? What did we buy it under?
Phone number.
But I mean, it wasn't bought for the road, it was bought for the township.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked about this before, but if you're gonna buy something for the township, those expenditures can be approved by the board. We never talked about buying a noise meter. So I'm gonna ask that next time.
Next time, I'll call you and see what's okay.
Well, no, it's brought before the board, not me.
We agree.
It's a public decision,
Yeah,
okay?
that,
Now,
I'll tell you what I'll do.
At least don't
I'll
get
pay
upset.
it. No, I'm had it with you. I will pay it out of my,
I'm not asking that.
I give it to
The-
that lady, she has it for
I
our,
understand that, but it's just what the
It's-
gist of the complaint that we got last month.
we didn't have no trouble with.
$120. I understand that. It's the gist of the complaint we had last month, where decisions are being made that are supposed to be made here. If the decisions are supposed to be made here, especially for expenditures, bring them here.
Especially
What's
for
the problem?
attorney expenditures for nothing. Same principle.
You approved it. You approved the attorney expenditures. That was done properly. These things are happening, and I think that's the gist of the complaints that I'm hearing.
Right, about,
Just bring it here. I don't understand the problem. Bring it to the board, and it should be fine.
with the,
I didn't say we were gonna turn it down, even if you'd have brought it to
let me
us.
get it.
Well, I was just reading today, and whenever there's decisions like you're talking about there, it's supposed to be agreed to by all three, or all three of you discuss it and then vote on it.
yeah, well.
You know, it's not a thing, what I was looking at is no deals should be made, say, over the phone or in the back room or something like that.
No, there's no deal.
No, I'm not saying
No,
there is.
but we want a
I read it.
democracy with it, the way that's supposed to be run. This is what we feel is the best interest of our township.
Pat's bill for, I think it's for the PSAP convention.
It's a
Not stone and
combination of, it got combined, but it was mileage reimbursement. It's not for the going to the, I didn't get paid for any of either the conventions for PSATs or the road and gravel program. That's just for mileage. Those are
You
mileage.
attended the convention and the gravel program.
Right.
And you broke down those miles, can I see your bill?
The bill?
Did you give her a bill
Oh,
for the mileage?
yeah, I talked to her about it. I gave it to her over the phone.
There should be a receipt for everything that is spent by
Yeah, in
the
fact, I have-
township.
Was that approved by the board for her to go? I'm just
Yes,
trying
it
to
was.
clarify.
Yes, it was.
I'm just trying to clarify, because you guys are jumping all over the place.
We approved her and I attending the
PSAT's convention.
PSAT's convention. I don't know about the dirt and gravel, was never approved.
Here it is right here.
The dirt and gravel
No,
was approved?
this is the attendance for the PSATs, and it has the mileage and everything on here. And as far as the road and gravel course,
It's for a course.
right here. And that's the certificate I got from
It's
him.
not- it's
Right
not,
there.
So that's the one that you attended and then later came to us and said you attended and wanted reimbursement?
No, that,
No, that was another one.
that was one that,
We approved the dirt and gravel.
Yeah,
Right,
right,
yeah.
yeah, right.
And
And
you
the mileage that
approved
you
it.
have for that,
Right.
I mean, I attended 3 days at the convention and I don't come up with that kind of mileage. $241?
No, that's a combined for going to state college.
Please let me see that.
What do you want to
State
say?
college?
Yeah, I
The
went to
mileage amounts that you have.
Well, I broke it, I broke it down. Mileage, PSAT's convention, 198 miles, and the dirt and gravel, 284. I'm sorry if I confused you on that.
Because what I gave you.
Right here.
But there should be receipts.
Well, there isn't, you can't give a receipt for,
She's
There was a
yeah.
You have to fill out a travel
class
report.
And I
in
have-
State College.
And it costs $284?
No,
No, that was the miles. That was the miles. And
that was the mileage and it's 50
So it was
cents a mile.
198
Miles.
miles, and then 284 on top of that.
miles
days
times
was it?
50 cents, which is the IRS. rate.
198,
That's my-
198 miles to State College and back.
No, to
That's
Hershey,
too
Hershey. I'm
Hershey?
sorry,
Here it is
Hershey.
for Hershey.
Yeah,
It's
she went 3,
198
It's
No, it's
three
not.
times, it's 3 days. Monday,
Wow, that's
Tuesday,
expensive.
Wednesday.
Did you attend, and you attended all 3 days?
Yes, I did. I didn't go Sunday, but I said Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And you,
I went Sunday, but not Monday. So I went Sunday, Tuesday.
Does everyone do travel reports whenever you travel? Because this should all be in writing
it is.
and
it
approved.
is, it
Some of
is.
us don't
We're
charge.
gonna have to make out a form. We
That
don't
would
have
be
to-
very good. nice,
We'll have
Carl.
to make out one.
It just covers your butt.
Because
I mean,
next
it
week
covers
we'll go
yours.
to Jamestown, New York.
Can I go? But you should do travel reports. Yeah.
Do we have to know how much we're, the price of what it costs for her to go there?
It's 50 cents a mile is
I
what.
know it's 57 miles, I'm asking how much you paid for you to go to that.
We agreed this time not to be paid for it.
So you went for free?
Well,
They didn't charge you?
She's talking about the course that you want to
Yeah,
do.
the course you went through, you had to pay for the
Oh,
course.
no, that was actually,
$150 a person.
So where's it at on here?
are you talking about P6? Go ahead and answer.
You got two different issues here. Again, you're confusing. You start out with $241, all right. You say, and I understand you, Nancy, I'm not
I know,
I'm not
that's
attacking
fine.
anybody.
I
I'm just trying to
understand.
get clarification, because this is where everybody gets upset,
Okay.
and then we get the call.
There's an
Okay, there's
annual,
198 miles for Hershey. How much was that course? How much did it cost for the course? Not
it
the
was,
mileage.
it's a statewide convention
Okay.
for all township officials.
Okay,
And the board voted that Pat and Frank would go at a
That's
cost, at a cost of $150 per person.
okay.
That
what's
was
the annual
paid,
expenditure?
that was paid back in January.
Okay,
Otherwise, if we went past January,
Okay.
it was an additional fee.
so it was $150 for the
Per-
both of
for
them?
both of
Per
them.
person, okay.
Well, no, per person,
But it-
per person.
So we should
That
see
was
Jan-
on-
February's expenditures being paid out for $300.
It was
On the
One
field,
per
Correct.
February's.
Okay,
Correct.
so then now we're coming now into May, and we're now paying for the mileage that they want for this course in, correct?
The-
All right, so now this other course for State College, how much was that?
That was free.
That was free, okay, all right. I'm
But they
just
do
clear.
mileage. Did they do mileage on that?
Yeah, they did
Yes,
284 miles.
And that's why you need a travel report.
Yeah.
You need to write it down, make up a form.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, yes.
Well,
but
then
you're
why isn't it
absolutely
done if
right.
you haven't?
Was that a one-day course?
That was a
3-day course.
I mean, no meals were provided for either one for the convention.
But you always have backup. And that's the purpose of a travel report.
Absolutely, because
There's
I have
one form
auditors
made up.
that say, where's your documentation?
Do
Yeah.
you, is the auditors, are they CPA auditors or just people off the street?
They are appointed auditors. Tom, I do believe.
No, CPAs.
No, they're not.
They should be. And why?
Well, we aren't required to have them. If we can get
Well, the
elected,
government steps in.
if we can get elected auditors,
That's the way it is.
that is how
It,
It needs to
We
go
do
to a
it. And more and more
CPA because the
townships
federal
are
someday may come
going
pull
to
the records.
CPAs because they can't find elected, and people don't want to be appointed to that position, so,
Well,
They're bonded anyhow. So.
Yeah.
well, they get paid $10 an hour. An elected auditor or appointed auditor gets $10 an hour to do books, so.
One thing I did hear is Carl's heading to New York to look at a bucket. I think the board should approve that trip. I think it'd be a good idea then.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
We're gonna approve Carl's mileage for the trip to look at now, if it's that far, what's the difference in price of a used one and a new one? This is what I'm asking. We pay you $300 mileage, so the difference in price is $900. So if we pay you, well, she just,
No, I'm not going to. Mileage don't mean nothing to me. I just buy gas.
we're gonna approve Carl's trip for mileage to this New York site to look for an 18-inch backhoe bucket.
Yeah, we can approve that.
We can't
I'll
get
make
any
that
more.
motion.
Second, all in favor, aye.
I make a motion to approve the bills as listed, and any bills that come due before the next meeting.
I want to defend Carl a little bit here, because I think last meeting I had mentioned that I was going to buy a meter. And
No, that wasn't the issue. We have the meter, it's paid for, the issue was the process of buying.
Yes, all in favor, aye. Bills are paid.
well,
Who's second?
I'm
You second.
I'm
That
confused.
wasn't, you understand. The issue was the process.
Going through.
And I think
The
Carl.
process of how they got the meter.
No,
wasn't
so,
approved
You understand the letters being
right,
sent out, right?
no.
Or it's being
It's that
sent out?
why do we need it whenever it's not in our rules, in our books, our zoning things?
Maybe we can change the law.
It wasn't written. The township makes those laws in each municipality. That's what I'm not understanding. Well, at the end, that's your, okay. Yeah, because they're all talking. Okay, I want to know. Let's see, they have no, she said she had it.
What's that?
Okay, works. We'll look at your work later.
She had forms up there for that.
No, I didn't. She can have it.
She had forms in front of her.
I can't hear you, Frank, I'm sorry.
Last month, I informed Pat that I intend to take a vote this month. I re-informed her that I'm postponing that till next month. All right.
Motion adjourned.
Wait, do you have a question?
Whatever happens to the proving of the stuff that is,
Yeah.
to be paid and
I
paid
made-
out and all that stuff, we couldn't hear nothing.
I made that motion, and they seconded the approval of the
Do you have a
bills and all that come due before next month's meeting.
Yeah.
Do you have a question on the bills?
No, wait, not on the bills. Mine was that. Talk louder. We had the ordinance that you read last month about the excessive noise and whatever. Anyway, with our books and what you have as the or the ordinances and whatever, they're adopted by our township, correctly? Is that correct? The supervisors make those ordinance up, okay? In the ordinance that Frank read, there wasn't an instrument in there that was needed to take care of anything. Where did that come from? Because it wasn't in our ordinance to begin with.
Yeah, there was nothing there
Jerry
designating anything over, say, 50 decibels as obsessive.
Yeah. because
It just said
Mr.
excessive
Hart,
noise, what I
said
remember.
that he needed one of those to help Mrs. Wise out, but our ordinance didn't say anything about that. So I'm confused about why you have it and what are what's the decimals that it's supposed to be, and
I think it's, to me, it's coming down to your questioning, why isn't it being enforced?
yeah.
They should have just sent
We
it
don't
out.
need a decimal meter.
Yeah.
And I
Now-
think Carl's saying the decimal meter may help
Yeah.
with the enforcement.
Okay.
So we have it, we
Okay.
can put it in place. I'm confident it's gonna raise some higher levels.
We're worried about Carl too much. I said I wouldn't worry too much about you, Carl. I'm more about that one.
Yeah. Don't have to worry about that. That's today's paper.
Today's paper.
Is that what came
So
out?
that's where
That's
it
what,
stands.
Frank, why did we adopt a noise ordinance? We're more rural, we have farm equipment, we have tractors that beat, we have the horses we
Yeah.
have. Why did we
It's
adopt?
not-
We do not have a noise ordinance.
Oh, we don't?
No, we have a section in our zoning ordinance that covers nuisances.
Okay,
If you
that's a
create,
completely different issue then.
but noise is part of nuisance, if you're creating loud noise. Now, obviously, farming is exempt and normal use is exempt.
Normal,
But if you're
yeah.
creating something on your property that is a nuisance and creates noise as one of the things listed, that's disturbing the community, then there's a section in the ordinance that could address that.
Can I ask what this incident was, or was it private, that we can't figure out?
I don't know, it's been several years of a very loud band.
Okay.
Drums, electric guitars,
Okay,
loud enough, I can hear them in my home
okay,
at night. I
okay.
cannot sleep. I've called the cops, I've tried talking to people, with no.
How late do they play? Do they stop it at certain times?
It's not a matter of how late, it's how loud. I'm in my home with my TV on, and I have to turn my TV up.
So you live
Not
right
to
beside,
That's what I was
side by
saying.
side? I'm not
what's that,
understanding.
what's that?
We're up pretty
Oh,
early.
that's,
I have a neighbor in between me
Yeah.
now,
uncalled.
and it's that
We are
loud.
worried about the farming maintenance.
And I have a horse, and I have
I know
goats,
that.
Okay,
you know, it
The
disturbs my
decisions that I
animals
think
too.
you might want to go.
I'm just trying to get a
Yeah.
feel for, I can't see
It's
it.
it's just upsetting to me. I've been putting up with it for so many years, and nothing's been done about it, and that's why I charged it
407,
to the
1.
township.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
Could I get your name,
Has
please?
begun.
Sure, Carolyn Peters.
Carolyn Peters, okay. Just so I can reference you. Okay.
Somebody must have told her about the way she was doing her minutes.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, I didn't think, when?
Yeah, that's your name. That last one.
They will make out for amount
Oh, okay.
I,
Nancy said she got, we talking about her.
Form, yeah, you have to put a form about it.
Yes,
And I filled out, that, the one, I didn't fill out the one that was passed for the
So we're asking the secretary to give us a form for mileage reimbursement and bring it to next month.
He said to ask one, if you were there at the end of the meetings, they end up handing us a form that you fill out and turn in, that's what I just did.
All right, so bring that to the board next month for adoption and we'll
Okay.
start using it. Is that what we're saying?
I think we'll use it right away. You know, how we do it.
I do have one more question though. Nancy, do you have any idea when you're going to have the material ready for me that we requested?
Next Wednesday. I
Okay.
am 3/4 of the way there.
Okay.
So I will have it for you.
Yeah,
Wednesday.
because I didn't hear anything, and I thought it was a 2-week thing that you were supposed to let us know how you were doing.
I apologize, Wednesdays, but I was going to talk to you, after the meeting, I was going to let you know. By
Okay.
Wednesday, I'm 3/4 of the way there.
Thank you. If they only knew the real story. If they only knew the real story. And it's going to come out that she's trying to take Frank down big time. And I hope it backfires and eats her.
Who made the second? I'm sorry, I didn't.
I did, yeah, we did.
So the meeting's adjourned.
I asked everything on Okay, one thing I was in grade 8 today.
It's in my mailbox. Yeah, they do.
Oh, I'm going to get one. I am going to get one, Beth. Bob's trying to make points with